All right, are you a listing agent who is looking to capitalize on your listings so that you can continue to get more and more transactions? If you are that, this is the perfect webinar for you. I'm Patrick. I'm one of the coaches with Hatch Coaching. Really excited to bring you some valuable content today on how to double dip on your listings, or for just lack of a more basic title, to get more business from the listings that you already have. We've always heard it from time and time again, listings are leverage, and we need listings in order to get business, and that's absolutely true. But some of us utilize our listings a little bit more than others. I want to tell you guys, this year alone, we've already equated 6 transactions and about $50,000 in GCI just from 6 additional transactions this year, just from our listings alone. And last year I looked at our numbers and that number was double digits. And the year before that, that was double digits. And there's been hundreds of thousands of dollars in commissions that my team has generated just from having listings and just from leveraging our listings to create additional buyer leads and additional listings. So I'm going to give you guys some tips today. I'm going to give you tons of tips and tricks today. I want you guys to ask questions during this so that I can answer them. I want this to be a really great conversation, and I want you to learn something that's going to make you an additional $10,000 today from the listings that you have. Let me give you a little bit of backstory for those of you who don't know a whole lot about me. I am a team leader here in Indianapolis, Indiana. Our average purchase price here in Indianapolis, Indiana is about $300,000. Our team's average purchase price is just a little bit above that. And I run a micro team model, or a partner model, here in Indianapolis. For those of you who aren't familiar with the showing partner model or the micro team model, definitely reach out to me and we can talk about that. It has absolutely been instrumental in our success as a team here in Indianapolis. Last year, I sold 156 homes with the help of my partners and my staff, and very, very excited. We're on track for that again this year. We've already got over 40 deals under contract this year, and we're looking to hopefully hit 175 this year. That's our goal. And about 55% of our business is listings. So we are a majority listings team. I got a little something on my shirt here, I just noticed. We are a majority listings team, but we're about half and half. So let's get right into the nitty gritty on how to make your listings make you more money. The first thing I want to tell you guys is that we do a lot of old school stuff. So if you're hopping on this webinar and you're thinking that this is going to be like as easy as a click of a button, that you're going to get more business from your listings, some of the things that we do are that easy, but most of the things that we do are intentional. They take time and they take effort. I'm in a mastermind. I'm at the Hatch Mastermind group here. And today we do a lot of Marco Polos back and forth. And today there was some Marco Poloing going on about how we're providing, some of us are providing leads to our team, some of us are not. And one of the members, Alan, in our mastermind said, guys, how did you all get started? For those of us in the mastermind who are selling at least 100 homes a year or doing $1 million in GCI, he challenged us, like, how did you guys get started? And he was like, I guarantee you it's because you did the basics. It's because you hunted. You weren't given everything on a silver platter, and you have to do some work. And so things I'm going to tell you today, a lot of it is going to require some effort on your part. But guess what? That effort will pay off. So, like I said, looking for a click of a button, it's likely not coming your way today, okay? As you hop on, I see we have a good amount of people hopping on right now. I said earlier on, if you guys have questions, you guys need me to stop, you guys need me to explain anything, I will. I am going to provide you all a recording of this after it's done. And then I have a way for you to get all these PDFs too that I'm going to share with you today. So first, how do we get more buyer leads and more listings from our current listings? First thing we do is what we call our just sold prospecting. So we do circle prospecting. Now, there's a lot of you out there that might do postcards when you sell a listing, or you might drop like something in people's mailboxes every single time you sell or list a property. We do a version of that. We're going to tell you guys about what we do. It's very intentional in what we do with my team. But the first thing we do is we actually pick up the phone. We have used the RedX for geo prospecting leads. They call it geo prospecting. So just circle prospecting leads where you can look up a neighborhood. But we are also using Mojo now. What we do every single time we sell a listing, my team gets on the phone and we laser in on that listing that we sold in a neighborhood. And we pick the 100 closest neighbors and we do a just sold dialing campaign. Yes, we pick up the phone. Yes, we are calling into neighborhoods. Yes, people still are cold calling in real estate and making money. You may not want to hear that today, but that's happening. And I'm going to tell you guys our exact script and our flow and how this works. And I'm going to show it to you right now today. Like I said, I'll be able to share these PDFs with you guys if you want them, and I'll tell you how here at the end. This is our flow chart. I made it very simple when teaching agents on my team how to prospect for listings through listings that they've sold. Okay. We call this a just sold dialer flow chart. It starts very easy. You call everybody in the neighborhood using a tool like Mojo Dialer or Vortex, which is the RedX, or Vulcan 7. There's a lot of them. Like I said, we're currently using Mojo Dialer right now. And when these people pick up the phone, we do have to understand that they are immediately sales averse, right? They are immediately like, okay, unknown number calling me. The likelihood is that this is a salesperson or this is a call center. Well, the truth is we're not a call center. We have to get our mindset right, right? We're not a call center. We're a real estate professional that has had success in their neighborhood, and we're excited to share the information with them today. That's what our mindset has to be when we start this. We also have to understand their mindset is that they're sales averse and they're scared, right? And so the worst thing we can do is sound like a call center. The worst thing that we can do is proclaim that we're a real estate broker right out the gate. The worst thing that we can do is sound like we're an investor trying to purchase their home. We need to relate to them as a local professional coming to them with knowledge. So when they pick up the phone, I just say, hey, my name is Patrick. Hey, is this Frank? In these systems like Mojo and the RedX and Vulcan 7, it'll show you their name. What's really cool is it'll even show you a picture of their home. You can click on the Zillow link and you can get the Zillow estimate right there. You can get the stats of their home like immediately while you're talking to Frank. So really quickly, I'm like, hey, I'm Patrick. Is this Frank? And I wait for them to answer. Generally speaking, they're going to say, yeah, who's calling? Or yeah, why are you calling? Or hey, Patrick, I'm sorry, I don't know you. And I'll just say, hey, real quick, the reason that I'm calling is I'm a local realtor, and I'm a local realtor right here in Plainfield, Indiana, where your home sold. And I just sold one of the neighbors down the street for you, one of the neighbors' homes down the street from you. And I was just curious if I can tell you what it sold for and how quickly. Another key there, as you start this conversation, it's casual. You're not saying, hey, I'm with XYZ real estate company. And you're saying, hey, I'm a local realtor here. My name is Patrick. You're sounding chill and calm on the phone. Another thing that you can say when they pick up the phone is, hey, I know I'm calling you completely out of the blue and you get a lot of calls like this. Sorry to bug you. The reason I'm calling is I'm an agent. I just sold your house, your neighbor's home just down the street. And I just want to tell you how quickly it sold and what it sold for. Can I share that with you? Asking them for permission, being calm and casual. You don't have to follow this script to the T, but the key is to let the air out of the room immediately. Let them know that you're just a person. Let them know that you recognize that you're calling them out of the blue. Let them know that you understand that they get sales calls often, and this one's a little bit different. You're here to provide some information. So in this flow chart, we do here often Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'd be interested. Here's what's really key in the success of this. Okay. If you have a big team and your time is very limited, it is possible that you won't be able to make these phone calls. Or if in your mind you're thinking, I don't have time to make these phone calls, I want you to understand this reality. If you are not making these calls, but it's your face on the sign, there's going to be a disconnect there right out the gate. These people, they know when their neighbors' homes are on the market. They drive around, right? Like they see the sign and they see the name on the sign and they see the face on the sign. So if Patrick's listing sells and Karen from Crest Point, that's the name of my team, calls, there's already going to be a disconnect there. Okay. So I want you to expect that. If you own a team and you're going to take some of the tools that I teach you today to circle prospect around your listings, but you yourself are not going to make those phone calls, your conversion rate's already going to be lower than if the person who is listing that home made the call. In these challenging times, guys, it's in Gary Keller's book called The Shift. In these challenging times, when it's a little bit harder to sell homes, the rainmaker may have to get back on the phone. The rainmaker is going to have to do lead generation again. So I'm encouraging you, if you have listings, you yourself should make these calls. The conversion rates will go up. Think about the other side of that conversation. If you live in that neighborhood and you saw that Patrick Keller listed that home and Patrick calls you and Patrick introduces himself to you, you're going to stay on that phone call a little bit longer. There's validity in it. You've already got that third-party validation of that sign and that listing out there, and you'll hang on. So I'm going to encourage you to make the calls yourself if these are your listings, okay? If you can't, just expect the conversion metrics to go down. All right, so back to the call. Hey, it's Patrick. Hey, I know I'm calling you completely out of the blue. Is this Frank? Hey, Frank, man, really good. I hope you're awesome. Real quick, the reason I'm calling is I'm the agent that just sold that house down the street from you on Summit Drive there in Plainfield. And I just want to tell you what it sold for and how quickly. And oftentimes, because of that third-party validation, I will hear, yeah, sure, I'm interested. Or, yeah, I do want to know. Okay. What do? We immediately share the specifics with them. So we're like, hey, that house on Summit Drive is a 1,600 square foot ranch, much similar to yours. I've got their listing, their Zillow listing literally up on my other screen because Frank answered, he wants to hear it. And I'm looking at his house to compare. Intentionality there, guys, and taking extra steps, right? So it's much like your home is a brick ranch, about 1,700 square feet. It sold for $325 and it sold in about 6 days. So it sold pretty quick. It's kind of telling me that people are still really interested in being in your neighborhood. What do you think about that? Frank's going to say, that's great. That's cool. Or Frank's going to say, well, man, that's great, but I'm not interested in selling my house. Hey, no worries at all. In this flow chart, you see that the arrow goes to the right. Hey, would you care to just like know what your house is worth on the market today? If Frank says yes, I teach in my lead conversion to immediately grab them by the arm and let's just start talking about it now. If Frank's going to give you the green light to say, hey, I'm interested in my home's value right now, the worst thing I think we can do is be like, that's great. Can we set up a listing consultation for Tuesday at 5 or Wednesday at 4:30? I think that's the worst thing we can do. There's a lot of closers and script teachers that teach people to just close that up and get that appointment right away. We don't know Frank, like we don't know anything about Frank. We don't know if Frank's serious about selling. We don't know anything. If you keep this relationship on the phone and you earn that trust with him for a little bit and you take him by the arm and walk him through the steps on the phone, you'll start to see how serious Frank is. And you'll also start to earn Frank's trust to get a true appointment so that when you go for the appointment in 10 minutes from now, you're going to be able to close that a lot easier. So, hey, Frank, awesome. You're interested in what your home's worth. I've actually got your house pulled up right here in front of me right now. Tell me, like, from the previous listing when you guys bought it, or tell me, it looks like your original owner, like, what condition is your house in now? If you could rank it on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being HGTV, and 1 being a van down by the river, what would you rank your house at? And Frank's going to give me, hey, it's a 7. We hear that all the time. It's a 7, it's a 6, it's a 7. And I'll say, okay, that's great. That's wonderful. Well, let me run some comps like right now. Okay, so I'm pulling up my VLC, I'm pulling up my listings, and I'm running comps on the phone with him right now. And while I'm running comps, in the background, I'm asking him the classic LP Mama questions. Hey, so like, what's your motivation? Like, are you curious in making a move now? What's your real estate situation? Like, what's going on in your life? Tell me about you. And I'm running comps in the background. I'm listening to Frank tell me what his motivation is. And then once we get through the comps, I'm like, hey, Frank, I've got some numbers right now. So I'm seeing that there's a range of about $300,000 to $350,000 for sold homes in your neighborhood that are in your condition. Is this about what you were expecting? Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. Or no, that's not enough. Or wait, that's way too much. And then I'm going back into the LP Mama stuff, right? I'm like, hey, tell me what your plans would be, when you'd be thinking about moving. If you're moving, where would you go? What would you spend? All of this stuff, right? I'm even running net sheets with people over the phone. So if they're telling me, hey, we're motivated, we are thinking about moving in the next 6 months or so, and they're telling me where they want to move, and they're telling me all this stuff, I'm like, hey, it looks like approximately if you were to sell today, after all of your fees, and you've got 4 things you got to pay. You got to pay, your mortgage off, you got to pay your prorated tax, you got to pay your title, and you got to pay me to do my work. After you pay all those things, you've got X amount of money in the bank. And I'm telling them all this. And then I'm on the phone. We're still on the phone. I'm like, hey, it looks like you'd have this on your next house. So guys, the message I'm trying to convey to you is that in these conversations, if you have a window to do a strategy session, a lot of us call them consultation, you do it, and you do it right there. You do it while you have permission, and you're giving them trust. You're earning their trust, and you're giving them your time. In return, it is very possible that they may reciprocate some of their time in the form of an appointment. Okay, so going back to this flow chart here, you'll see that if they said yes, they're interested in what their home is on the market, we're going to talk to them about their situation. Okay, and we're going to run through this, and we're going to try to set an appointment. Let's go back to the top. If they say, hey, you know what? I'm not really interested right now. We say, no worries. If they're not interested in hearing what that house sold for, we say, hey, no worries. Not a problem. Are you curious just by any stretch of what your home is worth on the market today? And let's say we get no again. We don't go down without trying to get them in our database. Okay. They say no again. I'm like, hey, no problem. I know I called you out of the blue. Last thing I can offer you, this is not going to spam you. I promise. I will send you an email once a month to just tell you what homes are selling for in your neighborhood, so you can keep an eye on the market, and hopefully you'd find that valuable to you. Can I do that? A lot of times we got that no, and we get that yes. And when we get that yes, if we promise we're not going to spam them, we're going to send them 1 email a month, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to set them up on a market update in Sierra Interactive. That's our CRM. We get their email. We've got their good phone number. We have their address. We have 3 points of contact. We're going to set them up on a market update immediately. And then we'll tell them, hey, be looking for this email in the next few minutes from us. It's going to tell you what homes are selling for in the neighborhood. I hope you find it valuable. If you have any questions on it, you can call me, right? So we put them on that monthly touch. We are now touching somebody monthly that we spent almost nothing for as far as a lead goes, who we know owns a home. We have 3 points of contact. And in my mind, if they wanted to know that information, there is some intentionality in their mind that they may move again. All right. And then we stage them as a D lead in our Sierra system. And that means that we follow up with them every couple months, just via text, just via general phone call, to make sure they're still getting their market updates and see if they have any questions. Okay. They become a part of our database. They are now someone that we can nurture. All right. One more key little tip on this that I want to give you. If you're going to do these kinds of phone calls, one of the things that I've been adding in, I've added in over the last couple of years, and man, has it paid off, is that they will, at the end of the call, they'll thank you for that market update if they're not interested. One of the last things I do is, hey, Frank, you have been so kind to me. You've given me a few minutes of your time, and I know I called you out of the blue. I'm going to send you a thank you card in the mail. I'm going to put my business card in it. You can put it on your refrigerator. And if you ever need anything, you have any questions about real estate, just treat me as your real estate Google. You can call or text me anytime. Hope you find it valuable. And I do it, okay? I write them a very quick thank you letter. Thank you for being so kind to me on the phone today. I hope you're well. I put my magnetic business card in there, our magnetic calendar for the year. Put it and go. Handwritten and real. Guys, I'm getting listings from this. There are people that call me 2 years later and they're like, hey, you called me a couple of years back and I've had your business card on my refrigerator and it's time for me and my wife to move. Just had a client, literally, they moved to Washington State. No, sorry, they moved to Oregon. They moved to Oregon and I called them 2 years ago. And they call me out of the blue and they're like, hey, we've been thinking about moving. We are moving now. And you were so kind to us when you called, you gave us that information. You're an expert in our neighborhood and we're ready to move. Got their listing, got it sold. So it's intentionality. It's taking a little extra time to take an extra step with each one of these opportunities that we talk to. This is how you create leverage from your listings. Guys, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, we've seen our numbers. If you called 100 people around a listing that you have sold, I absolutely will guarantee that if you use a system like the RedX or Mojo or any of these systems, that dialing 100 people, it takes about an hour and a half, give or take. Depends on how many conversations you have. In that hour and a half, if you do this script and you do it well, even though I don't necessarily believe in scripts, if you follow this flow chart and you have conversations with people at a high level, I can almost guarantee you that you will have 10 people converse with you. You're going to have 10% people in conversations. And out of those 10, you will at least get 5 to 7 who want to know the specifics, who that you do send a thank you card to, and you do get 3 points of contact information from. Okay. And you have now entered their lives as the professional in their neighborhood. Now, for an hour and a half of that, you just got 5 to 7 to 10, like I said, homeowners with 3 points of valid contact information that you've generated a relationship with. That, in my mind, is stronger than 5 to 7 laissez-faire portal leads. Okay? Because the portal leads, they still don't know you yet. You likely haven't gotten a hold of them. And they may not even be homeowners. What do we know about homeowners? When they move, they often buy. Even my client that moved to Oregon, I got a referral fee, right? I was able to make money in their on their purchase in Oregon. So 90 minutes can make a real big impact on your business by just following this. I feel like I'm trying to motivate you guys. I'm going to show you another one really quick. We do this as well. We do this when they list. Okay. So just sold is more impactful. I'm going to be truthful with you. Having a just sold phone call conversations with these people is more impactful than just listed. However, just listed phone calls are very similar to just solds. But if you're doing a just listed call and you do that 1 time a week and you do a just sold call 1 time a week around each listing that you sell, okay, they're getting two hits from you, 2 personal hits from you, okay? Not a postcard, not a throwaway, an actual hit, a voice from a real person. The just listed calls go exactly the same way. I'm not going to go into too much depth because I want to cover a lot of things with you This is one of the most impactful things that we do around our listings. If you guys have questions, please hit them in the chat about this. I will say that this also creates opportunities for neighbors, and it creates opportunities for family members. So not only have we gotten people in the neighborhoods that we've sold, but we've had referrals to family members. Oh, well, you know what? Like, I'm not interested, but my cousin is. I'm not interested, but my daughter's looking right now. My daughter's actually wanting to be in this neighborhood. She wanted the house that you had listed, but she couldn't get it. So, and there's your opportunity to be like, hey, let's help your daughter. So this creates all kinds of opportunities. Go figure that having conversations with people about real estate creates real estate service opportunities. All right, so went into just sold, just listed. If voicemails. If you guys are going to leave a voicemail on this, also be intentional about it. So if you're calling these neighborhoods and you're going to take an hour and a half to do this per week, when their voicemail picks up, call them by name. The system's going to have their name. Hey, George, this is Patrick Keller. Hey, I know you don't know me. I'm calling you out of the blue. I actually just sold your neighbor's house down the street. I wanted to call you and tell you the specifics on that and what it sold for and how quickly it sold. Intentionality wins. Small, consistent actions win versus large, inconsistent, unintentional actions. Okay? That's why I believe our team is doing really well in this market, is because we're still leading with intentionality. All right. So I talked about just solds. I talked about just listed. That's like one thing we do around our listings to create opportunity. The second thing that we do around our listings to create opportunity are coming soons. Now, all of our markets are different and all of our MLSs are different. I have a coaching client in Pennsylvania that can list a coming soon 2 weeks before. I have a coaching client in Florida who in their MLS, it allows them to do a coming soon listing for a month before. And our list in our MLS in Indiana, we can do it for 24 hours. That's it. 24 hours. I can post coming soon. I can do coming soon advertising. Regardless of how long you have to do coming soon advertising, I encourage you to take the step in your social media, on your business page, and personally to tell the world about a listing that you have coming to the market. Even though the market is not like it was in 2021 and the beginning of 2022, people love insider knowledge. People who are in the market love to know about a listing that's coming before. And let's face it, I don't know about all of y'all's markets, but in our market and a lot of the people that I coach and talk to across the country, their listing inventory is still very low. Like it's more than it was, meaning it's just lasting longer than what it was back in 2021 and 22. But there's still not a lot of options. I can speak to this. I have clients that are searching for average or just above average priced homes, and they can't find anything in our market because people aren't moving. So coming soon listings are still impactful. And it's very, very simple. I would encourage you guys every time you get a listing to go to your social media, post the hero image of that listing, meaning the front curb appeal image of that listing. Tell the world, hey, I have a listing going up tomorrow, in 2 weeks, and in 4 weeks, depending on what your MLS allows. In this area, if you have any interest in this, let me know. It's going to be priced around X. Here's the stats of the home. Don't give them the address. If you have any interest, let me know. You will get private messages. You will get messages from real estate brokers. You'll get messages from people that you didn't even know were in the market. You will get comments. You will get shares. Okay. This is us doing our job, but it's also going to help us. So we as agents, when we get these listings, when we get these opportunities, our job is to sell them for our client, right? And we have to do any means necessary. And in this market, it takes more means to do so. The coming soon listing also provides leads and opportunities for you. Be the local resource. The more that you post coming soons, the more that you advertise your listings, people are going to recognize you as a professional in their market. So that's the number 2 thing. Very simple thing, but absolutely part of your process. It should be a part of your listing process list coming soon. Number 3, we do mail campaigns. I have 2 listing appointments today in 1 hour. I have one at 2:30 Eastern, and I have one right after that. 2 listing appointments today from a piece of mail that we sent last Friday. And we get a call every single time we send this certain piece of mail that I'm going to show you here very quickly that you guys can have a copy of. We get a call every time, every single time. Here's why. People aren't doing intentional mailing campaigns anymore. I'm going to be bold and I'm going to say that postcards do not work as well as this. All right. How many of you all, you can raise your hand if you want to, how many of you all have done a postcard campaign for like 3 or 4 months and got nothing? I'm going to assume a lot of you. Okay. This, every single time we do it, we get something. I'm going to show you guys what it is. Looks like Lady Anna Strand, Miss Strand said that they have 0 coming soons in Washington State. So you can't do coming soons in Washington State. Kyle, back to the basics. That's right. Have to do the work to get the rewards. Beautiful thing. Let me show you guys our mailer. Okay. We do 2. The first one right here looks like this. Hey, is your neighbor's house just sold? And then we change the address. And then we tell them the basics. That's what they just want. They want to know the basics, right? So we give people what they want. We as real estate brokers, we should give people what they want. What do they want? They want knowledge. They want listings. They want the basics. That's what they want. So we give it to them. Hey, it's sold for X amount of price. This is what the price per square footage was. I find that to be a very valuable information that people want to know. And sometimes they use it incorrectly, right? Because they'll like take that price per square footage and they'll apply it to their square footage and they think that that's what their home is worth. This is an opportunity for us to educate them, but it's also an opportunity for them to give us a call, right? So like if the house sold for $180 per square foot and they do that math, they'll be like, holy smokes, my house is worth that. I'm going to call this guy. And those are the conversations we have. Like, hey, is my house really worth that? I'll be like, hey, let's sit down. Let's talk about it. I'm going to, while I'm on the phone with them, if I can, I'm like, I'll sit down in front of the computer. I'll run you numbers right now. And they may be right and they may be wrong, but it's an opportunity to educate them and to get 3 points of contact information from them and to follow up with them if they're not in the market. If they are, we take it. So, my cursor froze. Hang on a second. Here we go. And then we tell them how many days it took to sell. We say, hey, we just sold your neighbor's house. We wanted to see what we could do for you. I'm a local agent right here in and we put their area in there. We don't say like Indianapolis. If the house sold in Avon, Indiana, we put Avon area, okay? Reach out if you want a market analysis of your home. You may be surprised how much you can get. I look forward to the opportunity to work with you soon. Here's my number. Here's my name. Very simple. We get a call every time we send this one right now. And I know that's crazy. We didn't used to, okay? So like in 2020 and 2021, we sent this other one I'm going to send as well, show you as well. We didn't used to get a call every time. We do now. Why do you guys think that is? It's because all the agents are backing off. All the agents are scared. All the agents are fearful. This is the time where we go and do this stuff. Kyle, you asked about the format of this mailer. It is 8.5 by 11. We print it off in our office to save money. My admin, Lisa, we bought a folding machine. It was like from Pitney Bowes, and we put it in there and it folds it and puts it in an envelope for us. She used to hand stuff them. Now we're selling a lot of houses, so we need to keep this expedited. It's an 8.5. It's in a normal envelope. We send out 100 per listing we sell, just so you guys are aware. On the envelope, we use the like Avery labels, so we don't handwrite their address, but we do have a stamp that we bought on Amazon that says open immediately, important. And Lisa stamps boom, 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 everyone, 100 of them every time, boom, boom, boom. And we get opens, people are opening it. It's intentional, right? It is intentional. So that's the format of that letter. We also send a letter that looks like this separately, okay? Handwritten. I use a certain type of pen every single time I write this, okay? You guys are thinking this is crazy. You guys are thinking this is too much work. I'm telling you right now, we're selling houses like this at a high level, okay? We use this template right here. It says, hello neighbor, my name is Patrick Keller. I'm a real estate broker agent right here and Lisa hands me this. She says, you got to fill this out for this address. And I'll write Avon area. I'm writing you this letter to let you know I just sold your neighbor's house on Summit Street. It's sold for price. It's sold in blank amount of days. She copies it. She makes 100 copies of these, okay? And it looks like a handwritten letter that we send to everybody. It's intentionality. It's an extra step, okay? They call us. We go and serve them. Got another question. Return address. Yeah, we do. Yeah, so Kyle, we have the label of our return address. Crest Point, real estate, our address. We don't hide that. Yeah. And they're opening it because of how legitimate it looks. It's been stuffed by a real person. It says open immediately. They're opening it. Good questions, guys. It's back to the basics, but it's working for us at a high level. I will send you guys this stuff here. I'll tell you guys how to find me in a little bit. Those are our mail campaigns. One more campaign that we do that works, and we only do this on if we had multiple offers on a listing right now, okay? We do what's called a lost offer letter. I did not come up with this idea. I cannot take credit for this idea. This idea comes from my friend Colton in Orange County, California, okay? He used this method when he had buyers that wrote an offer on a property and lost. We are using this method in that vein, but we're also using this method when we have multiple offers on a property and the offer, like there's only one offer that wins, right? And we get to showcase some of the offers that lost. All right, so here is the concept of the letter. Hey homeowner, you've received tons and tons of calls, letters, random texts from people, and I say more like robots, saying they want to buy your home. That's not the purpose of this letter. We're writing you a letter to tell you we had an actual person write an offer on one of your neighbor's homes here, and they didn't win. Their offer was strong. And we tell them what the offer looked like. Their offer looked like this. They were offering this. They were offering this about inspections. They were willing to submit a large deposit. They were pre-approved. They were flexible. If you're interested in talking with me and seeing if the buyer, whether it's ours or another agent's, would do the same for you in your house, you don't want the stress of showings, cleanings, etc., let me know. We're absolutely not an investment company. We're not trying to send you a low offer. We're real life people with clients. Even if we didn't rep that buyer, if we get a call back from one of these people, one of these real people who have real homes, and they say, hey, I got this letter. You said you had a buyer and they lost. Like, hey, what's the scoop? We might be thinking about moving. Boom. Like immediately, I've got a person who is thinking about moving. I can help them through a situation. Even if I didn't represent the other side, and be like, yes, tell me a little bit more about your house. Give me your address. Let me start crunching some numbers, and I will go back to that buyer and I will see if they're in the market. I will go back to that buyer's agent and I'll see if they're in the market. See if we can just work out a deal right then and there. Oh, by the way, we have had this happen, right? Many times. And when this buyer is no longer interested or no longer in the market, what do we still have? We still have a seller lead who is curious of the market, curious of selling. So we go back, we say, hey, unfortunately, this buyer already moved. But here's what we can offer you. You can go to the market, see if the same thing happens for you, and see if this still pans out for you. And it's created listings. It's created more and more listings. All right, guys, let's keep going on some stuff here. So those are the mail campaigns that we do. We can generate leads very, very, very cheap through our listings as well. So some of you might be investing in Zillow. Some of you guys might be investing in like Opcity leads or paying referral fees, high referral fees for leads, right? Some of you are investing in PPC or online, like all kinds of different stuff. I will tell you the cheapest lead that you can get is Facebook. I will also tell you that it's the longest nurture type lead, right? So what do we know about lead conversion timeframes? You know, if it's a Zillow or a realtor type lead, those leads right now are taking about 3 to 8 months before they do something. Sometimes it's shorter and sometimes it's longer, but we're seeing it's about 3 to 8 months before they do something. A Google PPC lead, those kind of leads, they're going to take like 8 to 16 to sometimes a little bit longer to sell. And a Facebook lead is in that same category. Like they may be more like 9, 10, 12 months plus out. All right. But they're cheap. So what we do every single time we list a property is we feature that listing online. Now, this is not like rocket science. This is us doing our job. We should feature our listings just outside of the MLS, but it creates leads. The key is you have to create a funnel in which these leads register to you. All right. Now we use Sierra Interactive for this. Sierra Interactive is our CRM, and it creates what we call tracking links. Tracking links will capture lead information based on a specific listing. I'm going to show you guys an example of what that looks like in Sierra Interactive. If you guys are interested in Sierra, you want to talk more about it, would love to talk to you about them as well. Love, love, love them, and got to hang out with a lot of the crew at Sierra Interactive at a conference a couple weeks ago. Good people that really do care about the agent experience in lead conversion. This is what, I have to move my thing here. This is what our our tracking links look like. This is an image of a listing of mine. Okay. You can create a tracking link that looks just like this. And the thing that I love about it is we'll go to social media and we'll say, hey, featured listing of the week. Here's our property on Welger Drive in Zionsville, Indiana. And it features all of these things. If you're interested in more information, emoji, emoji, click here, emoji, emoji. Okay, we'll take that, we'll post it on our business page, and we will spend $50, no more than $50 to target people within 15 miles of that address that have interest in Zillow, that have interest in real estate, that have interest in Trulia and Realtor.com. Okay, so we are targeting people that have been on these websites or have engaged in real estate interest and activity recently through Facebook. And this tracking link has this beautiful opportunity here for continue with Facebook page. Here's what's really cool about that. Most of our people, and we've found that this is true inside of the CRM, are clicking on this continue with Facebook link. And when they click on this continue with Facebook link, what do we know about people and their values of Facebook? They absolutely have a real email address. And if they use Facebook Messenger, like most of the world does, there are cell phone numbers associated with it too. And oh, by the way, their name is probably right in Facebook too. So like when they click continue with Facebook, they then click another button very quickly that says allow Facebook to provide IndieHomeExperts.com or Sierra Interactive information. They click it really fast because they want to see 55 more photos of our listing and 588 similar listings nearby. And we get their right name. We get their right phone number if they're with Facebook Messenger, and we get their right email. And so we're getting really good contact information through really cheap leads. Guys, if we do this for $50 each listing, we're absolutely seeing about 10 to 15 leads being generated for $50. What did I tell you about these leads? They're long-term. They are nurtures. You guys know that the magic in this is follow-up. That's on you. So you have to have a follow-up system in place, like something like Sierra Interactive is a CRM. You could talk to us about Hatch systems or Hatch messaging, things that will message people and follow up with people in an appropriate cadence for a long period of time. And these people turn around and they become buyer leads for us just because we have a listing. You guys can also do this with other agents' listings with their permission. So it generates opportunities. Okay, another thing. I went and talked to a group in Nashville, Tennessee on Wednesday, and they have a sales manager there. The team has about 20 agents or so. Okay, so much bigger team than me. By the way, I used to have a team of 35 agents, and the micro team model has been wonderfully more productive and profitable than having a ton of agents. Anyway, so I go to this team, and they've got about 25 agents. And before I go up to talk to them, the leader of the team goes, "Hey, our sales manager is going to go up and do his thing. So let's let him do his thing first, and then we'll intro you." I'm like, "Hey, no problem." So the sales manager goes up and he says, "Hey, I'm looking over my sheet for listings coming up this weekend with our team. We've got 12 listings hitting the market this weekend." I was like, "Wow, these guys, that's great. In this kind of market, that's awesome. We have 12 listings hitting the market this weekend." They do a quick recap of like what the listings are like, and the agents are going around like talking about them and just like networking about them. And that kind of like half of them are listening and half of them are not kind of thing, which I was like, "Hey guys, listen to this." Anyways, and at the end, the sales manager says, "Okay, we've got 12 listings. Hey, agents, raise your hand if you're willing to do an open house at any of these listings." And I know I'm going to see people jump off of this right now because you already know where I'm going. I'm going to start talking about open houses, and people, y'all are going to drop. I'm going to tell you to hang on for a second. In this Nashville team with 12 listings in a low inventory market still today, with people who are begging for leads that are in the market today and to not have to do the nurture, no one raised their hand. So the sales manager stood there awkwardly for about, I don't know, 20 seconds. He's like, "All right, come on, everybody." He's holding the microphone. He's like, "Come on, who wants to do an open house? Who wants to do an open house?" And no one raised their hand. So his session was done. They introed me and I went up, and I was supposed to talk about lead conversion. I was supposed to talk about how to generate over 50 deals a year with your past clients' sphere of influence. That's what they wanted me to talk about. And I went up on the stage and I was like, "Guys, who knows the sales cycle of open house attendees? The sales conversion cycle?" And they're like, "What?" And I said, "Who here knows how soon an open house attendee is going to buy a home?" And they were like, "We don't know." The answer is 2 to 3 months. When someone goes into an open house, they are purchasing a home and likely also selling a home within 2 to 3 months. If we aren't doing open houses, I've already seen my numbers start to fall, and I'm going to stay here because guys, you need to hear this. If we aren't doing open houses on our listings, we're doing a disservice not only to our clients, but to ourselves. And it's important when we do open houses, we do them in the right ways. Okay? So we have to put signage out. We have to market them 3 or 4 days before the open house. We got to tell the world on social media. Like, we have to be doing open houses if we want to generate leads from our listings. I promise you that your open houses, if you do 3, you may have 1 dud, but if you do 3, you will get a lead, a legitimate lead from that if you do them correctly. Quick tip on open houses. I know this is like age-old real estate knowledge. Maybe someone's taught you this, maybe someone hasn't. If you're going to do open houses, you must do them the opening weekend of the listing, or you should really only do them after a price reduction in the weekend following a price reduction. That's when you're going to get your best traction. If you're doing open houses every week on a listing and nothing is changing on that listing, the attendance at that listing or that open house can be very poor. Now, quick tip on the open house. If you guys are doing a sign-in sheet and cookies and waters, and you're putting them on a table. And when people walk in, you're like, hey, welcome to the open house. The seller asked that you sign in at the sign-in sheet. Stop that now. Stop it. Don't do it anymore. Quit. Why? Everybody's doing that. Buyers know that it's complete BS that sellers want you to sign in on this open house sheet. They know that, okay? Also, buyers put that they have a realtor on your sign-in sheet just so you will leave them alone because they're sales averse. They're scared that you're a salesperson. At an open house, guys, it's just like I mentioned before, it's a friendly, sales averse, melt the sales away conversation. And when you have the opportunity, you take them by the arms and you walk them through the process, right? So when they walk in, first thing you do is you say, hey, where'd you see the house at? Where'd you see the open house at? Did you see it online or did you see it driving by? If they say that they saw it online, you already know that they're engaged in the real estate space and they have been searching. That's a good first start. If they say they saw it driving by, you got some more questions to ask. Do they live in the neighborhood? Were you guys looking for houses? You just keep asking questions, okay? And then you just ask them just like you would a lead. What's your real estate situation? What are you guys looking for? And you're doing this in the living room. Like you're not gonna just be like, hey, go sign in and I'll follow up with you. You're literally having this conversation there. And then you take them by the arm and you do a or a buyer's consultation, a strategy session, whatever you want to call it. You do it right there. You do it right there, okay? Then you let them go look a little bit and then they come back and you do it some more. You go over down payments, you go over mortgage numbers, you do all that stuff. And you guys think that sounds crazy, like you're going to scare somebody off. Here's what I've seen while doing these. I end up taking someone, I grab them by the arm and I'm like, hey, this is the process. This is how it works. Where do y'all live? Okay, this is what I think about your home. This is what I think about this home. This is what I think about your financials. This is how I would tackle this. These are the resources and the loans types I'd recommend, yada, yada, yada. I'm like solving all their problems right now. I've been in open houses where I'm doing this and I like look over my shoulder and there's another couple standing in the corner and they're waiting for me. They're waiting for me because they went to 2 other open houses where the agent just said, hey, just sign in. The seller wants you to sign in and let me know if you have any questions. Okay. And they see me providing immense value to these people right here and they're waiting for me. Like, hey guys, how can I help you? I'll be there in just a minute. I'm like, hey, no problem. They wait for me. We have to be intentional. We got to give them that value there at the open house. So guys, if you want leads that are in the market now, it's open houses. Okay, that's how you leverage your listings. I'm telling you some classic stuff here. Great signage with a call to action. I'm gonna give you guys an example, okay? This is not what ours look like. Ours are blue. But if you guys don't have writers on your signs for text this number for more information, for pictures and price, those kind of things, you guys are missing out on capturing leads. There are a ton of different resources out there. There's like one called Agent Buzz. There's another one called Agent Text, where literally when a lead texts this number, they'll automatically get those listing details and then they register as a lead on your website. If someone is driving around, if they take the time to leave a text message or to send a text message to get information, they have a lot of intentionality in the market themselves. These are great leads. Sign calls are your best kinds of lead. I told you guys, like, it's March. In January and February, it is like desolate around here in Indiana. Like, people don't move a whole lot. We've already closed 5 deals from listing leverage. We're calling these sign call leads, but they're not always signed calls, okay? They may be just sold calls and maybe just listed calls. They're listing leverage leads. We've already done that. We've already done 5 deals. We've already made almost $60,000 in commission this year in March from listings. This stuff works. And then I would say one additional thing I want to tell you guys before we go is just target your listings around Facebook. So like I said, a featured listing, put it on Facebook and show the world how well you market your listings. Take the extra step. Not only do professional photography, do videography and floor plans on your listings. Show the world how you list homes, and they will want you to list their home. Okay? The more you show the world your listings, the more they'll see that you're an agent in the marketplace, and they will also want you to have their listing. I'm going to leave like 4 minutes for questions. If you guys have any questions, please put them in the chat and let me know how I can answer them. I will tell you guys that nothing that we are doing is rocket science. Nothing that we are doing is, how can we get the mailing materials that you use? Yeah, so great. Thank you for the reminder. So here's what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to go, if you want any of this information, if you want to dive deeper into a conversation about your business, if you just want to connect with me on any level, you guys can go to meetpk.co, okay? Don't go to meetpk.com because there's some guy that has a blazer with jeans and he does like entrepreneurial coaching. I don't know what it is, but his name is PK too. So go to meetpk.co and you guys, there is a link on there where you can get a copy of this free book that Hatch and Robbie wrote. Okay, this is my story about my micro team. If you guys click on a button that says get my free book, you guys will actually be led to an email and my email address, and you'll be able to shoot me an email right away. We can hook you up with the free book, and then we can also send you all of these materials that I mail out. You can also just find me on Facebook, like friend request me on Facebook, Patrick Keller. My email address is patrick@crestpointindy.com. You can reach out to me there too. Whatever's best. If you guys use Marco Polo, you can polo me there. But if you just go to meetpk.co and you click on any of the 3 links I have there, we'll be able to get connected. Other questions? How often do you send the mail? So we send 2 pieces of mail every time. Right, so initially we send that one that looks really nice that I showed you right after we pinned it, okay? And then right when we sell it, we send that handwritten one. Really good question. Links for everything in this webinar. Yes, Kyle, hit me up on my meetpk.co site. I'll hit you up. How's your conversation for drive-by text go when you call the lead? Yes, Stacy, it's speed to lead there, right? So like, go to meetpk.co, Chad. It should work. I'm going to check it right now. Yeah, it's going right there. So try it again. Stacy, drive by text, speed to lead, right? So if they shoot the text and you get the lead, pick up that phone like right away. And the conversation is much like that just sold conversation. And that I always like to start these like sales averse conversations out as like, hey, it's Patrick. Is this Frank? And they're going to say, yeah, or they're going to say no, or whatever. If they say, yeah, it's like, hey, Frank, like, I know I'm calling you out of the blue, but I think you're sitting like right outside my listing right now. Are you sitting outside that listing on Main Street? Yeah, we just drove by or whatever. Hey, well, tell me, guys, I'll fix that link. Let me just shoot you a message. Tell me what you're looking for. Tell me what you found interesting in this home, and I'll tell you everything that you want about this home too. So Stacy, really casual conversation. Tell me about your real estate situation. Tell me where you guys are at and what you're looking for and what you're trying to accomplish. Guys, I'm going to shoot you my email in the chat right here. That might be easier. Sometimes if you don't have your email client open, it won't send me an email there. So try it like this. Awesome. Hope you guys found this valuable. It's been at an hour. Shoot me an email anytime. Find me on Facebook. You guys will find me. And I'll hook you up with all that stuff. So we will talk real soon. And I'll just have Jessica from Hatch send everything in the email recap and the recording of the webinar. You guys have a great day. Go leverage those listings. Go sell a bunch of houses. And we'll talk soon. Take care.